In this video, we'll show you how to create a budget for a new project. A budget can accrue item and time charges as the project is spec'd out. First, from the project dashboard, go to the Edit Add button and click Phase Budget. Here we're going to create a new phase for this project, which will have its own budget. You can have multiple phases for a project, or you can have a single phase for the entire project. Fill out a title, a description if you need to, and then set the budget for this particular phase. You can have a time billing hours budget or time billing charge budget, or both if you'd like. Hit Save Close and the phase and budget will be created. Here under the Phases tab, you can see that phase right here with the budget amounts. There are a number of ways to add items to a project and budget. The quickest way is to copy those items from the items history. We're going to right click on this to open a new tab for items history. Here you can see a list of everything you've ever put in DesignerLogic for each project. We're going to filter this list by the project. In this case, we're going to use a template project where we have some generic items just to populate a new project. So we're going to choose generic items that don't have any specs or prices, and we're going to click Filter. Here you'll see a list of all the items that you can start with. Now these items can be edited after you put them on the new project. So we're going to select them all, hit Copy Selected Items. Choose the new project, select the phase that has the budget on it, make a couple other selections here, click Update. Now these items are going to be on the project. So if we go back to that project, we're going to go to the items page. And here we can see all these items that don't have any pricing information yet or specs on them or anything. They're just basically placeholders on this project. One thing to do is select all these items at one time, click Bulk Actions. And here we want to change the price status to be determined. And when we click Update, this is going to adjust all these items. Now you can see a TBD next to each price to let you know that that price is yet to be determined. As you spec out the items, you can adjust these numbers by clicking on the Edit Item link here. And we can go down to the financial part of this item, and we can say that this item actually is going to cost $3,000. We'll mark it up, for example, 30%, click Calculate Markup. So we have a client price of $3,900, and we're going to say that price is finalized. We're going to click Update, and then refresh the page. And here you'll see we have $3,900 for the price, and it took away the TBD. Now if we go back to the project dashboard by clicking the project name, and we click the Phases tab, here you'll see it adjusted the budget that we have by $3,900, and we have $496,000 left. So as you go back to the items list for that project, and you start to fill out this information, it's going to automatically adjust the budget. Now let's go ahead and edit some more items. So we click on the Edit Item link. This opens up the edit page, and we can do things like check a supplier. We can come down and put pricing information in like before. We can do the 50% markup in this case, and we can say this is estimated, for example, like we know that that price might change, we can put estimated. Down here we can put more spec detail, and we can put color numbers, we can put pattern numbers, we can put all kinds of information in this extra spec for ordering as we go. And then we click Update, and it's going to save the changes. And let's go ahead and add a lot more information on these other items as well. Okay, once we update some of these items, we refresh the page. And here you can see now we have prices for a number of these items. Some of these have suppliers that we added. If you hover over an eye icon, you'll see more information. And down here we have some things that are still left open. And say we want to mark these things as, like, say, an emergency, they need attention immediately, we can check them off and choose Bulk Actions. And here we can actually change the color code and say that the background needs to be red because we need to have attention on these. And when we update the page, scroll down, you can see the background of these colors. Now if we go back to the project dashboard by clicking the project name, and we want to click on the Phases tab here, you'll see that the budget now has been adjusted by $22,000 as we added information to those items. There are a number of other ways to add new items to a project as well. Let's go back to that items history section, and we can copy items from another project, or we can select to copy, say, a specific item from a project with multiple components. So we're going to open up that project, And on this project, we're going to scroll down and we can see this reading chair, and it has about 6 different components on it. And if we hover over the green dots, choose copy item, it gives us the option of copying this item with all of the components. And then once we do that, we select the project that we want, and we want to put it in an area of that project. We'll choose library in this case, and then we want to just hit submit, and it's going to copy all of those items to that new project. So when we go back to that project here, the Abbey Vacation House, and we click on the items list button, we can see here we have down in the library section that reading chair with all of its spec information and its pricing information copied over. The images will copy over within 10 minutes. Now if we want to put these items on the budget that we've created, we just select the items that we want. In this case, we'll choose all of these components, and we go to bulk actions. And then here we just decide which phase, which is the budget phase. Click update, and now it will add all those items to that phase and that budget. Another way to add an item to a budget or a project is to go to the edit add and just select item. And this is where you create a brand new item that's not yet in DesignerLogic, and we can select the phase that it's going to go on. This is the budget phase right here. Select the sales code for what it might be. Just put it into an area of the project, and you can choose a vendor at that time if you know who it might be. And then we can select the description and fill out the rest of the information, including financials. And you can say this item even has a budget, say of $200 in this case, and you bought it for $195 retail. And let's say you get a discount of 20% as a designer. You can use that discount to get the cost, mark it up 30% in this case, hit this link to calculate the client price. And let's say that's the final price right there. So then we go down, hit submit, and then we refresh that big items list. And here you can see when we scroll back down to the library, we have a paperweight right here from this vendor with this amount of pricing. Now lastly, we can create a new item on our project and add it to the budget with the web clipper. If we're on an internet page with a product, we can choose the DesignerLogic Chrome web clipper. And what we have here is the ability to just clip this information, and we can just highlight different parts of this page, right click, and then go down and add it directly to the DesignerLogic web clipper. And we can say this is your cost and do things like that. We want to select the project that it's on and all this other information down here, pricing information, etc., specifications, whatever you need to keep track of. Hit add to DesignerLogic, and what that does is that will create a brand new item in DesignerLogic on that project right here, and it can be added to the budget and to the phase. Now if we want to take a look at that budget now, click on the project name to go to the dashboard, click on phases. Here you can see now we have $29,000 accrued to that item's budget on that phase. Now if we click on the overall project budget name for the phase, it opens up the detail page. And here you can see, if you click on the items tab, all the items that are on that phase and in this budget. So let's go back to the project dashboard, and you can do this in a number of places, but we'll show it to you here. Let's add some time to that budget. So if we go to edit add and we choose time expense, we can then add that time log or expense log to that budget phase by selecting it right here. And then we might want to say that this is an installation charge, something like that. And then down here, we want to put in the billing rate, which comes from your selection up here. And whether it's billable or not, just hit save and close. And that adds it to the time log for that project. Again, if you click on this little tab here, you'll see all the time logs for that project. Let's say you want to add all of these to that budget. You can select all and just hit bulk actions. And up here you want to select the phase that has the budget on it. Click update. And what that does is it adds all those time logs to the phase that has the budget. So if we click on phases, now you can see the budget under the time section has accrued over $2,000 worth of time with $27,000 and change left. You also have an hourly budget, so you can accrue the hourly time to that budget as well for that phase. And if we click on the phase name, it will open up the details, and here you'll see in the time tab all the time charges that are on that phase. And if the items tab is clicked, you'll see the items that are on this phase as well. And again, a phase can have a budget. So anything that's a phase can also have a budget. In this case, it's an items budget and a time budget. And that's how you create a quick budget for a project and then spec out items over time for it.